To all Dharma brothers and sisters, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my very warm greetings and Teshibele to everyone, because this is our new year. This year is a Vajrayana year. It's just started yesterday, so we are still in the midst of celebrating, and not only Tibetans, but in Asia, many countries celebrate lunar New Year. So it's a great occasion to many people. And so I wish everyone this new year will bring peace, joy, happiness, prosperity, and to fulfill all your wishes. And to do that, I'm giving Vajrakilaya Kago Blessing. Vajrakilaya is a teaching that is given by the Guru Pema Sambhava directly to the Kön lineage, first Kön Nagendra Rakshita. In fact, he is also the first Tibetan to receive the full ordination of the Buddhist monks. And he and his younger brother, who is a householder, they both received Vajrakilaya initiations and teachings directly from Guru Pema Sambhava, and since then it's been passed down through the Kön lineage. So the Vajrakilaya's teaching lineage and Kön's hereditary lineage almost comes together and up until now. So it is considered as a very unique and very special. So I'm giving the Kago. Kago means blessing. Blessing to overcome all forms of obstacles. The outer obstacles, inner obstacles, secret obstacles. Outer obstacle is the obstacles that are caused by the evil forces and spirits and all kind of things. Inner obstacle is actually our own physical, like sickness and unbalanced elements and so on. Secret obstacle is actually our own defilements, negative emotions. They are actually the main cause of all our obstacles. So despite all of this, Vajrakilaya, who is the manifestation of all the Buddha's activities in order to pacify the evil forces in form of wrathful deity. So this cargo is very special. It is a very I give every day to many people. Many people are asking for the cargo. Cargo means actually like order, blessing of order, or something like that. Rough translation is something like that. So it is very auspicious to give on this New Year's time, so that during this year there will be no obstacles, especially because we have a saying that wherever there's a deep Dharma, there is a deep Mara also. So there's obstacles. And so when you deeper the Dharma, when you are more inside the Dharma, more obstacles face. So therefore, Guru Brahma Sambhava in particular especially manifested to overcome all kind of obstacles the Dharma practitioners facing. So I'm giving this Vajrakilaya blessing. It tells all the lineage gurus' names, starting from Guru Pema Samba, but starting from Adi Buddha to Guru Pema Sambhava up until now. I myself received from my own father and also from many other gurus. So I'm reciting their names, and as they have asked through the deities and protectors to protect all sentient beings, and especially those who are serious Dharma practitioners when they face upper obstacles, middle obstacles, low obstacles, all kinds of obstacles will be pacified, so that you will enjoy this year a very peaceful and joy and happiness, and be able to carry on your Dharma practice very smoothly and very easily. So I'm giving the Vajrakilaya blessings. Om Sumba Ne Sumba Hum Be Om Garana Garana Hum Be Om Garana Baya Garana Baya Om Maya Hum Banga Be Aranda Hum Be Om Vajrakilaya Sabinimenda Hum Dita Zarana Nam Benzagot the Hungara Hum Gatagadam Batagot the Betayon Nam Bazagot the Nila Down Down Bazagot the Yamerzalo. I am Gilom but the Goda down to the Dinamazagoda, Midakundalus, the Sanam, but the Goda de Vitayo, Mabalam, Poda, Umbe, Badrea, Ginunza, but the Berahum, but the Raminda, but the Mara, Jo, Mara, Mayamakala, Rubening Zala, Yam, Sotala, Yam. Nila Titi Sola Chunjum to the Zaratum Dum Jijin da Sola Shijin Tata Ru Shijiku Nama Suzo Dadu Mishirukara Mangara Maras in the Balma Dani home Yanda was over Sanjishu when the Somalum with Dodges and Batuku Vimas in the Kaloaso, from Dodges in Jikasha and the Guts of Java to the Shire. Gadonga Babu Kinsitalu Ruka the Ruku Java Kansajavich Mukano, which is not. Jizuna Majitava Jandakan, Jizaki Bin the current Commissioner and the Mapulova, the Losar, Sundakan, the Makusi, Jambar in the Jan, the Shizela, Madamasan, and the last which is the teaching Shik, Javang, with the Jan, the Rajin, Jahar, Jang was an Janga, Gambunga, Gorjija, Sanamunga, Jatawal, Jangung was an arsenal, Nanjang, with the Shija, Sanan, Jisajing, to Tujan, the Nimbo. Taman Dundu and wages the resident when you were just to learn the Lamatam. Juda Jinguja to Jota Gulugumba, Sajo Chumanga Jalamatam, she can bear the dozen Chumanga Kunga, Tashi Tavijan, the boss of Bugatin Sumama Division and the Daza Lamatam and Mitrovichara, the two of them. Custom Shaki Java Danding, which is the Jota Gulugumba, and Tajikan Badoji Sanga, all the Shaman, but Tashi Tavijan's boss. Kadin Sumama Division and the Congregation Doji, the Majamanga, the Border into the Tajikan Badoji. Chamba Jamba Samba Jam, which is the Doji, Jalama Doji, Sanga, Tribute to Jan Doji, Sanga, and Terror, Shikazulas over the Gibadan, Mataman, the Sanga Chinaki, them children. Dance on Tamjinga to talk of the Javan and Savan, but then the town, the Southern Georgian, the Southern Pardon Jung with Jazing in the Vasatana Gajim Parjimid Jabal and Tivini with someone to jealous of inherit with the local Davishagalas of Ganjil local this cheese was supposed to zealous over singing the rhythm bedroom bed on a sofa singing the read sorry was John never the follow the mother Rajashung was the Gajim Parjimid against Banjinga living and that Honda vision get the summit down to the Malaysian the Vajra the Tonto Jazz Tida to show the Java the Bow the Go to the Thomas Jaws the Vajra the treasure the and draw the Dada something in the second of Amazon Bazara Jumbas and Bazara Jumbas and get it knowledge is sure the midden the weekend and how the Vajra Tashi Tijan on the Delijo Mount and now the just against the one make a then you want to do budgets of image and then you did a thumb on Java so the law and so on to Sumajimbo. Singular is similar to the Maran in the Guribama got the meaning that I use it there is just such a thing at home to the meeting. Take what y'all and never join Tashi Tijan on the daily show. So this completes the cargo, but I have added at the end of the cargo some long life prayers. So not only that to disperse all forms of obstacles, but also you will have a very long life, good health, and wisdom, and so all the loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta will increase, and so that you will be successful in forwarding in the towards the path of enlightenment. And then now I'm giving a short refuge and bodhisattva vows. Refuge is very important. Refuge, there are many different kinds: worldly refuge, beyond worldly refuge, Hinayana refuge, Mahayana refuge, Vajrayana refuge, etc. But this is according to the Mahayana refuge. Mahayana refuge has 4 specialties. The first specialty is the cause of refuge. Cause of refuge is fear in the sufferings, faith in the Triple Gem, and compassion. In Mahayana refuge, specialty is although all 3 causes are there, but the main cause is the compassion. Because Mahayana means every practice we do is not for the sake of yourself, but it is sake of for all sentient beings. To have that idea, you have to have a compassion. Without compassion, you will not be able to do that. So the compassion is the main cause, is a special Mahayana refuge. Secondly, the object of refuge. Object of refuge is Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That all Buddhist traditions are the same. But in explanation, when we say, according to the Mahayana teachings, when we refer as Buddha with the 3 kayas, 3 bodies, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. Dharmakaya means the body of reality, Sambhogakaya means body of enjoyment, and Nirmanakaya means body of emanations. So Buddha with the 3 kaya is a special Mahayana. And then Dharma has 2 aspects. The experience, the realizations that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have gained is one aspect of the Dharma. And the second aspect of the Dharma is teachings, such as the Tripitaka or the Vinaya, Abhidhamma, and Sutta. So this also be Mahayana realizations, Mahayana teachings. Sangha means the communities, Sangha, and this also be the full life for the benefit of all sentient beings. So the object is different. And then the third is the duration. When we take refuge in Mahayana, we take refuge from this moment until enlightenment is reached. Because our ultimate goal is to reach enlightenment. And so the goal, the duration is different. And then the fourth one is the purpose is different. When we take refuge, it's not just for the sake of oneself alone, but for the sake of all sentient beings. So this way, Mahayana is very different from other traditions, very different from this, with these four reasons: the cause, object, duration, and purpose. So with this, if you take refuge, then you are already not only in the Dharma path, but already you are in the Bodhisattva path. And then the second is creating the enlightenment mind. We realize the samsara has full of sufferings. From our own experience and from the when you look about other beings also, everyone is suffering. So to overcome this suffering, we need to enter Dharma. But not just for sake of oneself alone, but for sake of all sentient beings, because we believe in rebirth. This is not the only life. We had, from the beginningless time until now, we had innumerable lives. And in the future also, unless and until we attain the liberation, we continue born again and again in the samsara. And so every time we born, we are in a different place, different parents, different family. And so in this way, every sentient being is actually related to us. They are our father, mother, brothers, sisters, and so on. But due to the change of life, we could not recognize each other, and we see some as friends, some as enemies, some as indifferent. But in reality, everyone including your enemies, are your very kind mother, and abandoning them and just to seek liberation for yourself alone is not right. Even in a worldly way, if you leave all your family, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your family, your children, all in the midst of a very difficult situation, and you yourself just to escape in the same place, is not right. It's not right. It's not considered as a good person. You have to think about your own families. You have to think about your parents. At least, even you can't do anything, but at least to share their sufferings. And so, likewise, that we have to think about our other beings. And so, what can we do? We can't do anything at the moment. We cannot, because we ourselves have no power, no full knowledge, no full wisdom. So how can we help the other sentient beings? So the only way to effectively to help the sentient being is to attain the enlightenment. So to wish to attain the full enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. And this wish, if you make it as a vow, then you are creating the enlightenment. Enlightenment mind has the wishing enlightenment mind and entering enlightenment mind. This is the wishing enlightenment mind. And then after having this, then in order to attain the enlightenment, that you decided to enter the Bodhisattva's path and engage to take the vast Bodhisattva's activities. It is called entering enlightenment mind. So the refuge and creating the enlightenment mind is very important. practitioner. And so there are many refuge, many different kind of refuge, many different verses, many different long, short, all kinds of things. But there's one shloka composed by Padan Atisha. Padan Atisha is a great Indian master. I think, in fact, his birthplace is not very far from here. It's in the border of Bengal and Bihar. And he's from there, and he was an Indian, but he came to Tibet to teach Tibetans, and he lived many years in Tibet. And so he is a very great master. He composed one shloka, the 4 lines. The 2 of them is refuge, and 2 of them are creating the enlightenment mind. This is very short, easy to practice, and at the same time very profound. So I'm going to give this transmission. It's called Sakya Chodama. Sakya Chodama. Sakya Chodama. Chanju Bardu. Dāni Kyasuchi. These 2 lines are refuge. What it says is, it says Buddha Dharma and the most excellent communities. And then it describes the duration from this moment until enlightenment is reached. I take refuge. That's the refuge. And then second 2 lines are creating the enlightenment. Enlightenment, Bodhisattva's main practice is 6 parameters, 6 perfections. The generosity, moral conduct, patience, endeavor, meditation, and wisdom. And when they are linked with the wisdom, they alone is not perfect generosity. But when it is linked with the wisdom, then it becomes the perfection of generosity, perfection of moral conduct, and so on. So this, it's in a form of dedication. Whatever practice we do, we dedicate to attain the full enlightenment. Through the power of this, may I attain full enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. So this is in this way that you are creating the enlightenment. So this is very easy because it's just 4 lines, and at the same time very profound because it contains both refuge and creating the enlightenment mind. So now you repeat after me these lines. Buddha, Dharma, and most excellent communities. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. Buddha, Dharma, and most excellent communities. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the power of by the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. Buddha, Dharma, and most excellent communities, I take refuge until enlightenment reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. So in this contains both the refuge. So in this way, you receive the refuge vow as well as the bodhisattva vows in a simple way. The bodhisattva vows, there are many different, very elaborate ones, and then simple. This is the simplest one, very simple ways that you will receive. Uh, so from today onwards, that you should practice at least the refuge and creating the enlightenment mind. Even you can't recite, but you at least think about taking refuge. Whatever happens in your life, good or bad, success or failure, happy or sorrow, whatever you face, you should never uh, forget Buddhism. You should always seek guardians and blessings of the Buddhism. And then you should think about all sentient beings and attaining the full enlightenment. You should never give up. Whatever you do, when you are eating or sleeping or walking or sitting, standing, you should never forget to wish
Dear friends, this is the Happy Losar. And thank you for joining us today. Now we are waiting for the soulness attachment, so start soon. Dear friends, dear friends, we are going to start again. His Holiness Ratna Vajra will give the teaching on parting from or attachment.
Now, the Taiwanese Vajrayana Manjushri Center translate all around the world into Chinese, and Sakya Friends translate about 60 countries into languages.
给过的。So first of all, I would like to say happy Tibetan and also lunar New Year to all of you. And this month is known as Miracle Month. From first day of the first lunar month up to 15th day of the first lunar month, Buddha Shakyamuni showed many miracles. For example, seek to disclose victory, etc. Toothpick, by planting a toothpick, it grows into a big tree, etc. So hello, hello. Hello. Ah, 空する、空空する。空する。이제 파괴 공부했어요. I have. No, I have. I have. Happy New Year to all of you and all the viewers. And this month is known as a miraculous month because Lord Buddha has shown many miracles. For example, like by planting a toothpick, it grows into a big tree, etc. So he has shown so many miracles from first day up to 15th day of the first lunar month. And therefore, this month is known as a miraculous month. And also, there's a separate sutra by Lord Buddha known as the Chotulu Tembedo, which means sutra about showing the miracles. So there's a separate sutra in Lord Buddha's teaching. And for some friend asked me teaching on parting from the fire. So I accepted to give, but at that time cold or cough. But now I've cough. But since I have already accepted, and since many people is attending this teaching, so now I cannot refuse. So I will continue to keep teaching, although I may cough many times during the teaching. So parting from the four attachment teaching is essence of Mahayana teaching in pit instruction form. And to give a brief background about this teaching, actually the Sakya tradition was found in 1073. So now this year is 951-year-old tradition. And this tradition or the school was founded by Kunkunjo Gyalpo, and Kunkunjo Gyalpo's son was Lama Sakya Trichen Kunga Mingpo. So he is the manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, and also he is the main master in the five founding masters of the Sakya tradition. But in the eyes of common people, he lived in a common way. So when he was 12 years old, his master, Losar, Rinpoche, actually at that time, his father, Kunkunjo Gyalpo, already entered into Mahaparinirvana. And then in the eyes of common people, Lama Losar advised Lama Sakya Kunga Nyingpo that you are the son of great master, and you need to study, and to study you need to gain wisdom, and to gain wisdom you need to practice Manjushri. So according to his master's instruction and advice, Lama Sakya when he was 12 years old, he practiced Manjushri for 6 months. And at that time, one day, in the midst of light, he saw a jewel throne, and on which there's a orange-colored Arya Manjushri, and his two hands are in the preaching mudra position, and he is with two bodhisattvas as his retinue. And then Arya Manjushri gave this teaching, which is known as departing from the four attachments. So this has 4 lines of teaching, which says if you have attachment to this life, you are not a spiritual person or dharmic person. If you have attachment to the samsara, then you don't have the thought of renunciation. And if you have attachment to the self-purpose, then you don't have the bodhicitta. And if you have grasping or clinging, then you don't have the view. So these are the 4 lines of teaching that was given by Arya Manjushri to Lama Sakya Bachambo Gunga Nyingbo. So if we analyze on this meaning, then we will understand that all the practice of Mahayana path is combined into these 4 lines of teaching, or into these teaching, which is known as departing from the 4 attachment. So this teaching is directly given by Arya Manjushri, and later there are many commentaries on this precious and profound teaching. And today I'm giving teaching based on Jiddu Rinpoche Tabai Gyaltsen's verses on departing from the 4 attachments. So first he supplicates to his root guru and deities in order to bless his mental continuum, etc. And then he said, non-dharmic behaviors are not needed, and to practice Dharma according to the teaching, then we need this pit instruction on departing from the 4 attachment. And this pit instruction will be explained for the sake of others. So this is his promise to give this teaching or to compose this text. Actually, Acharya Vasubandhu, in his text called the Abhidhamma Kosha, in that text, Acharya Vasubandhu said, based on pure moral conduct, then one must study, contemplate, and meditate. So this is a general structure that is applied to all the schools of Buddhism, all the tradition of Buddhism. So here, first, based on this, he explains about the genuine and false practice of these 4, the keeping of the pure moral conduct, and study, contemplation, and meditation. These four. Just by doing these four does not mean that one is doing genuine Dharma practice. So whether it's genuine Dharma practice or not will be determined by the motivation, not just by the physical and verbal action. Even though physically and verbally one act according to the teaching, but if one's motivation is not right, if one's motivation is very mundane, then still such action will not be considered as a dharmic practice or dharmic action. Still, it is not real Dharma practice. So, main thing is our mind. The main practice should come from our pure mind. The main practice should come from our own motivation. Based on right motivation, then we can practice pure Dharma, genuine Dharma, authentic Dharma that can be the direct cause of gaining liberation from the whole samsara and also to attain the Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. Ideally speaking, whatever practice that we do should be the cause of gaining liberation and enlightenment. Also, it should be the antidote to reduce and eliminate the negative thoughts such as our anger, attachment, and other negative thoughts. If we practice Dharma for a long time and still if our mind is not tame, if our mind is same as before, or if we still have many negative thoughts, then it means we have not done proper practice. We just have done superficial level of Dharma practice, but not the genuine Dharma practice. So to do genuine Dharma practice, we need the right motivation, and through this, then we can train our mind, we can tame our mind, we can subdue our mind. So everything is based on mind. It is the mind that does negative or virtuous or the positive action. It is the mind that experiences suffering or happiness. It is the mind that can gain, is mind or the mental continuum that can gain liberation and enlightenment. And also it is the mind or the mental continuum that can go down in the lower realms where one needs to experience inconceivable sufferings. So, in short, this teaching is to train our mind. This is a mind training teaching. The most important is to tame our mind, is to train our mind. So it says, without having attachment to this life, then one should practice the keeping of pure moral conduct, study, contemplation, and meditation on the pure Dharma. If one does with attachment to this life, then such practice is not a real practice, and such person is not a real dharmic person. So one should not do um, superficial practice without the right intention or motivation. So, in short, generally speaking, keeping pure moral conduct has great benefit in this life as well as in the future lives. And also, it is the cause for us to gain the precious human life in the future. And also, it is the cause for us to gain a higher rebirth or the liberation, and then eventually to attain the enlightenment state. So, the pure moral conduct with the right motivation has great benefits. One can gain a higher rebirth, one can gain liberation, one can abandon the negative thoughts and its result, which are the sufferings. So, such pure moral conduct is something that we must have. But if we have attachment to this life, then with attachment to this life, if we keep our moral conduct, then this is not right. This can be the cause of 8 worldly dharmas. 8 worldly dharma is based on selfish thought. So these 8 worldly dharma, actually here when we say dharma, 8 worldly dharma, this dharma is not the dharma which is the Buddha dharma. Here dharma means like phenomena. So actually the word dharma has many meanings. Acharya Vasubandhu said in one of his texts that the word dharma in Sanskrit has 10 different meanings. So depending on the context, one can understand what it means by the word dharma. So 8 worldly dharma does not mean holy dharma. And also, when one don't have a pure moral conduct with the right motivation, when our practice is motivated by the selfish thought, or by mundane thought, or worldly thought, then we disrespect and criticize those who are not keeping the moral conduct physically, and also one can have jealousy thoughts towards those who are really keeping the pure moral conduct, and one's own moral conduct is just at superficial level. It's just one is just pretending, but not really keeping the pure moral conduct. So such moral conduct is the seed of going down into the 3 lower realms. So one should not keep such false moral conduct. One should abandon such moral conduct. So similarly, study, contemplation, and meditation also has pure and impure, or genuine and false. If we study, contemplate, and meditate, with the right motivation, then such can be the cause of gaining liberation in the enlightenment state, etc. And if we study, contemplate, and meditate with a worldly intention or out of selfish thought, if we study, contemplate, and meditate, then it is not right. For example, when we study the holy Dharma, if we think, I need to study Dharma because I want to gain knowledge, I want to know, I want to understand the meaning. Just gaining knowledge or just understanding the meaning of the Dharma, if this is our main goal, if this is our main aim, then it is not right. Then our aim is not beyond this life. Our aim is within this life. And also, you want think that I want to study and I want to gain knowledge so that I can spread the Dharma, I can give teachings to many peoples, or to those who have interest. If this is our main goal, if this is our main aim, then still it is not right. Because just by having these goals, it does not mean that one has the thought of renunciation. It does not mean one has the sincere wish to gain liberation from the whole samsara, or it does not mean that one has sincere wish to attain the enlightenment state for the sake of all the sentient beings. So, gaining knowledge, studying hard to gain knowledge, and then to give teaching to others is also not right, or it's not complete. And also sometimes people might think, I need to study and gain knowledge so I can give teachings and I can gain more wealth and I can gain more followers and I can gain more power and these things. Then it is not right. It is based on this life. You want wealth, you want followers, you want power, which is for this life. So this is not right. So when we study Dharma, we should have genuine motivation. Sometimes one can deceive oneself. One might think, now I have received so many precious and profound teachings from so many high gurus, and I have spent a lot of time to receive Dharma teachings and to practice Dharma, etc. Or I have spent many years. But just by spending many years on Dharma does not mean that one is pure Dharmic practitioner. Just by this, one cannot confirm one is pure Dharmic practitioner. So one has to check one's own motivation. So one should analyze about one's own thinking, whether oneself is fallen in the category of having attachment to this life or the right motivation. If one has done all this for this life, then after many years of study and practice of Dharma, and after many years of receiving precious teachings from many high lamas, then still one falls in the first line of the teaching, which says, if you have attachment to this life, you are not a spiritual person, or you are not a dharmic person. So therefore, motivation is the key. Buddha has not given a single word of teaching just for this life. Actually, Buddha's teachings are based on law of karma. And law of karma is not only based on this life. If one based on this life alone, then one cannot have the complete law of karma. One cannot accept the complete law of karma. To accept the complete law of karma, one must accept the past lives, the present life, and the future lives. Without accepting or believing in these three times, one cannot accept the complete cause and effect or complete law of karma. In Tibetan we call Legjumde. Legjumde is not only for this life. Legjumde is based on three times: the past, present, and the future. So we should not have attachment to this life. This is the main point. In the past, during the Kadamba time, there's one practitioner. I think first he is doing circumambulation, and then there's one great master called Dom Tempa, and he said, you should do Dharma practice. So then he stopped doing circumambulation, and then he reads texts, Dharma texts. Then again, Dom Tempa said, you should practice Dharma. And then he stopped reading the Dharma text, and then he did meditation. Then again, Dom Tempa said, you should practice Dharma. So then this person asked the great master Dom Tempa what he should do. Then Dom Tempa said, you should abandon the attachment to this life. So this is the main point. This is the same meaning as the meaning of the first line of this teaching. So if we have attachment to this life, then no matter whatever practice that we do, no matter how profound the practices are, we cannot become a spiritual person. So we should think this life is like a paper cup. We keep the paper cup until we used. And after using the paper cup, then we throw it away without having any attachment, without having any stinginess or any worry. We just throw it without having any clinging on this paper cup. So likewise, we should use this life. It is very important to use this life. So to use this life, we need to take care of this life. So having attachment to this life and taking care of this life, these two are not the same. These two are different. So without having attachment to this life, we need to take care of this life so that we can live longer. And if we live longer, then we can have more time to practice Dharma. So with the right intention, we try to live long. We try to live more and more years. So, and then we should use this life in a meaningful way, in a purposeful way, by developing the right motivation and by doing the right things, by doing the genuine Dharma practice. So to practice, first you need to know the meaning of the practice that you are going to do. After knowing the meaning, then you should do the practice properly with the visualization, and then at the end, you should do proper dedication. So to do a complete Dharma practice, we need the right motivation in the beginning. We need the main practice that we need to do with pure visualization or right visualization. And then at the end, we should have the right dedication, or we should do right dedication. Then our practice becomes a complete practice. With this complete practice, then our practice becomes more powerful, and it becomes the direct cause to gain liberation in the enlightenment state. So I was saying, this life is like a paper cup. So we should use this life, and at the end of this life, we need to throw without any choice, without any other we don't have any other ways. We can't keep this life for centuries and centuries. At the end of this life, we need to dispose this life in the fire or water or one way or another. We need to dispose this life. We cannot keep this life for hundreds and hundreds of years. So when we have this life, we should use it in a meaningful way, in a purposeful way, in a dharmic way, and then at the end of this life, we should not have any regret. We should just leave this body behind without having any worries, without having any attachments. Just like we can throw the paper cup, after using it, we can throw it without having any attachment. Just like this, we should leave this body behind without having any attachments. So here, the meaning of the first line teaching is that we should not have attachment to this life. And then the second line of teaching actually, the first line of teaching in the Judaism Jansen's verses, it explains about the pure and impure, or the genuine and false moral conduct, study, contemplation, and meditation directly. And indirectly, it explains about the difficulty of obtaining the precious human life and the meditation on impermanence and death. Now, the second line of teaching, if we have attachment to the samsara, then we don't have the thought of renunciation. Actually, Lord Buddha has given teachings, enormous amount of teachings, in order to lead the sentient beings from the three lower realms, and from the samsara in general to attain liberation and enlightenment state. Buddha has never given a single word of teachings for us to stay in this samsara. This samsara is full of suffering. It is in the nature of suffering. For example, in this world, there are so many different countries, so many different places. Some are very developed, some are developing, and some are backward. But wherever we go, we don't find a single person who has not experienced any physical sickness or physical pains or mental sufferings or mental worries or anxieties. So it means wherever we go in this world, we can't find a single place where there's no suffering at all. We can't find a single person who has never experienced any kind of suffering. So it means the nature of this world is in the nature of suffering. Similarly, the whole samsara is in the nature of suffering. So I will not go through this word in detail. So generally, the whole samsara is in the nature of suffering. And Buddha has given teaching for us to gain liberation from the samsara, because Buddha knows as long as we are in the samsara, we will not be free from the suffering. So when we say we are in the samsara, what does it mean? In the samsara, when we are in the samsara, does not mean doesn't mean that if our body is in the samsara, then we are a samsaric person. It does not mean like that. For example, Buddha Shakyamuni attained Buddhahood here in Bodh Gaya under the Bodhi tree. So, for the eyes of common people, after this enlightenment, then he's a Buddha, but his body is in the samsara. So, just by having the body in the samsara does not mean that one is a samsaric person. So Buddha Shakyamuni is the best example. Also, there are many other examples. So we are bound by the sufferings of the samsara, so we need to gain liberation. So in some teaching it says we are in the prison of samsara. So this prison and the worldly prison are two separate things. The worldly prison that we can see or that are there in many countries, these prisons are physical prisons. Here in the Dharma, we are talking about the mental prison. And also liberation is not a physical liberation. Here, when we say we need to gain liberation from the samsara, it doesn't mean we need to gain physical liberation. It doesn't mean our body needs to go beyond this samsara. As I said before, Buddha Shakyamuni's body was in the samsara, was in India, in Bodh Gaya. But just by having body in the samsara does not mean Buddha is a samsaric person. So, gaining liberation is a mental liberation, not a physical liberation. So, what it means is that when our mind is free from the obscuration of mental affliction, in Tibetan we call nyomangbe, like ignorance, anger, attachment, and other mental afflictions. So when our mind is free from all this, or when our mind can, or when our wisdom can eliminate or eradicate all this obscuration of mental affliction, then that is the moment that we gain liberation. Although we can be in the samsara, our body can be in the samsara, but when our mind is freed from the obscuration of mental affliction, then that is the moment that we call one can gain the liberation from the samsara. So it's a mental liberation. So it's different from the worldly prison. Worldly prison, one can put the body in the prison, but one cannot put the mind in the prison. The worldly prisoners, their mind can be beyond the bars, although their body is within the bars, but their mind can go elsewhere, can go beyond the bars, thinking of their families or other things, many other things. But here, our mind is present by the mental affliction. It is present by the anger, by the attachment, by the ignorance, and other mental afflictions. So one is physical prison and one is mental prison. So gaining liberation means when our mind is completely free from the mental affliction, obscuration of mental affliction, then it is called the liberation. So Buddha has given so many teachings for us to gain liberation and for us to gain enlightenment state. And if we use the precious Dharma just for this life, if we use precious Dharma just to have good results in the examination, or just to get good job, or just to fulfill our mundane wishes, just for that, if we practice Dharma, if we use Lord Buddha's precious teaching, then it is not right. It is too good to use for these minor things, these worldly things. For example, if you throw garbage in a container that is made out of pure gold, then this container is too good to use as a garbage container. It is too good to use as a garbage container. So similarly, if we use the precious Buddha's teachings just for this life, to just for just to overcome the sickness, or just to gain long life, or just to gain power or wealth, just for these purposes, then it is not right. It is too good to use for these minor purposes. So, and also, Buddha has given all these teachings for us to gain liberation. And if we use for these purposes, then it means our aim is not to gain liberation. Our aim is to stay in the samsara. Our aim is to stay in the samsara, which is in the nature of suffering. So it means we want more and more suffering. We doesn't want to separate from the suffering. We want more and more suffering. Although we don't think like this, but the way that our thinking, the way our intentions are, is like that. It's thinking of more and more suffering indirectly. Not directly, but indirectly, our intention is to gain or to experience more and more suffering. It means we love suffering. We want more and more suffering. But not directly we are not thinking this. Directly we are thinking we want to overcome the suffering, but our action indicates that we want more and more suffering. Our intention indicates that we want more and more suffering. And also, so it means Buddha has given teachings to free us out of the samsara, but we want to stay in the samsara, so in and out are two opposite. For example, when we are in the house, at the same time, our same body cannot be outside of the house. So one body cannot be in the house and also outside of the house at the same time. Either this body is in the house or outside of the house or in between. Not both at the same time, not inside and outside at the same time. So Buddha wants us to get out of the samsara, but we want to stay in the samsara. So our intention, the purpose of Buddha's teaching is to get out of the samsara, and our purpose to practice Dharma is to stay in the samsara. So these two purposes are opposite to each other. So when our purpose are direct opposite of Buddha's purpose, then how can we become Buddha's followers? To follow, we need to have same purpose. With the opposite purpose, we cannot become a genuine follower. There's no way to become a genuine follower by having the opposite purpose. To follow, we need to have we need to be in the same line. So I won't go through these words, this teaching word by word. So it means if we have attachment to the samsara, then we don't have the thought of renunciation. Renunciation means having the sincere wish to gain liberation from the whole samsara. And it means, as I said before, it's a mental liberation. It means eliminating all the obscuration of mental afflictions from our mind or from our mental continuum. So we should have this wish. If we have sincere wish of gaining liberation from the whole samsara, then we will not have attachment to this samsara. And then third line says, so So in this teaching, Trizin Vajra directly shows the shortcomings of the samsara, and then indirectly shows the law of karma. So if we don't have the attachment to the samsara, then we can have the thought renunciation. So I just want to say a few words about the law of karma. Generally speaking, law of karma is fair to every one of us. Law of karma will never ever deceive us. So whoever does positive actions will have positive result. Whoever does negative action will have negative results, irrespective of their power, their title, their fame, their wealth, etc. Rich or poor, powerful or weak, famous or not, does not matter. Law of karma is fair to every sentient beings without any discrimination or without any exception. And then third line says, if we have attachment to the self-purpose, then we don't have the bodhicitta. Generally speaking, the self-purpose is the root of all the sufferings of the samsara, because the sufferings are caused by our own negative actions, and negative actions are caused by the mental affliction such as anger, attachment, and other negative thoughts. So these are known as the mental affliction. And the root of all these mental affliction is the selfish thought or the self-cherishing thought. So therefore, this is the root of all the sufferings of the samsara. So this is opposite of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is based on helping others. Selfish thought is based on thinking oneself alone. So these two are opposite. So it means if one has the attachment of self-purpose, then one does not have the bodhicitta. So bodhicitta, bodhi here means Buddha. Bodhi means Buddha, enlightened being. Here it means this is our ultimate goal that we wish to achieve. And citta means mind. Here it means our mind, not Buddha's mind, but our mind. So Bodhi means Buddha, Chitta means our mind. So together it means our mind that has the wish to attain Buddhahood is called the Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is very important. Actually, without bodhicitta, there's no Mahayana teaching or Mahayana practice. If we need to do Mahayana practice, then we must have bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is our savior. Bodhicitta is our protector. Bodhicitta is our guide. Without our own bodhicitta, no matter how much time we spend to receive teachings from great masters or great gurus, still we will not receive the blessing. We will not become a genuine Buddhist, or we will not become a Mahayana Buddhist. So to receive blessings of our guru, we must have bodhicitta. To do proper Mahayana teaching practice, we need bodhicitta. So without bodhicitta, we cannot do anything in the Mahayana tradition. So bodhicitta is something that we cannot buy from outside, or we cannot ask someone to help to generate. Bodhicitta should be generated in our mind. Within our mind, we need to develop bodhicitta. If we have genuine bodhicitta in our mental continuum, then that is our savior, that is our protector, that is our refuge. Without bodhicitta, we cannot also practice proper refuge according to the Mahayana tradition. So every morning we need to remember, we need to reflect on the bodhicitta. This is very important. If we have, so first we need to receive the bodhicitta vow, then we need to keep this vow. Bodhicitta vow is not just for a few weeks or few months or few years. It is something that we need to keep until we attain the Buddhahood, until we become Buddha. So after receiving the bodhicitta vow, we always need to practice bodhicitta. We always need to remember about the bodhicitta. Then naturally we will become a better person. There's no doubt about this. Definitely, if we practice bodhicitta in a proper way, then we will become a better person. We can reduce our anger, we can reduce our negative thoughts, we can reduce our negative actions, and eventually we can eliminate all these negative thoughts and actions. So to make this bodhicitta strong in our mind, in our mental continuum, we need to remember, we need to reflect, we need to practice on this again and again and again. So first in the morning, we must remember bodhicitta. We must reflect on bodhicitta. If we have genuine bodhicitta, then naturally we will have thought of renunciation, infinite loving kindness, infinite compassion. If we have real genuine bodhicitta, then all this are with the bodhicitta. So, for example, in our daily life. In the morning, first we need to wash our face, brush our teeth. This we think it is very important. If we miss one day, then we don't feel comfortable. We must do every day. In the morning, we must wash our face, we must brush our teeth every day without missing a day. So if this is something that we need to do, if washing face and brushing teeth is something that we need to do every day, then why we should not do, or why we should not reflect on bodhicitta every day? Bodhicitta, reflecting on bodhicitta is much more important than washing face every day in the morning or brushing teeth in the morning every day. So keeping this example in our mind, then we should reflect and we should develop bodhicitta every day in the morning, and also in the daytime we need to develop bodhicitta again and again. Then definitely it will have strong impact on ourselves, on our action. We will definitely become better person. We can see the result. If there's some time we might get angry, but if we think bodhicitta, then we can control the anger. If we think about the bodhicitta, we can control our negative thoughts. We can control our negative actions. So if bodhicitta can help us to control the negative thoughts and actions, and it can help us to do more and more positive things, then definitely it means we are becoming a better person. We are becoming a better dharmic person. So bodhicitta is the key. Without bodhicitta, there's no Mahayana practice. So once we receive the bodhicitta, we must practice every day in the morning, and then also in the daytime again and again, and also in the night time. So the more we think, the more we are familiar with the bodhicitta, the more better practitioner that we will become. So in short, here in the teaching it means if we have attachment to the self-purpose, then we don't have the bodhicitta. So by eliminating the attachment on the self-purpose, and then we should develop the bodhicitta in our mind. And we should keep this bodhicitta in our mental continuum forever. Actually, Dharma practice, the main practice should come from our mind. And it is not visible. So it is difficult to keep the practice. But although it is not visible, but it is very important to keep the bodhicitta and other mental practices. We cannot see the bodhicitta, but we should keep this in our mind. We should practice and maintain this bodhicitta in our mental continuum forever. This is very important. And now the fourth line says, actually in the teaching, in the verses of the third line teaching, it directly shows the practice of self-exchange, and indirectly shows about the loving kindness and compassion to all the sentient beings. And now the fourth line says, if grasping arises, then you don't have the view. The ultimate view is a state that is beyond words, beyond thoughts. It's a state that is inconceivable and inexpressible. If you think the ultimate view is emptiness, and if we cling to the emptiness, then still it is not right. So we should not have any clinging. If we cling emptiness as the right view, then we are fallen down in the extreme of nihilism. So ultimate view is free from all the extremes. So when we meditate on the ultimate view, try not to have any clinging thoughts or grasping thoughts. So we can say the first three teachings are from the method side. The fourth line teaching is from the wisdom side. So method and wisdom should go together. For example, when the birds fly in the sky, the birds need two wings. If one of the wings are damaged or missing, then bird could not fly, but must have two wings, right and left wings, to fly in the sky. So similarly, we must have method side and wisdom side to cross the ocean of samsara and eventually to attain the Buddhahood. The first three lines talks about we should not have attachment to this life, we should not have attachment to samsara, we should not have attachment to self-purpose. So the method side, anyway, the method side can reduce or can control our mental affliction, but it cannot eliminate, it cannot eradicate the mental affliction from our mental continuum. So only the wisdom that realizes the ultimate view can eliminate the selfish thought. Because when we say ultimate view, then it means we are talking about the selflessness. So selflessness is a direct opposite of self. So to eliminate the self, we need to realize the selflessness. To realize the selflessness, according to the Mahayana teaching, we must realize the ultimate view. Through the ultimate view, we can realize the selflessness, and through this, we can eliminate all the obscuration of mental affliction. The moment that we eliminate all the obscuration of mental affliction is the moment that we become noble bodhisattva, and it is the moment that we have gained liberation from the whole samsara, and it is the moment that we have eliminated all the obscuration of mental affliction, and it is the moment that we attain the first bhumi, and it is the moment that we have entered the path of seeing. And then one continues our own practice, and then one can progress on the Burmese, and then eventually one can attain the Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. So with this, I conclude my short teachings on departing from the four attachment. Sorry, today I'm not feeling well. I'm coughing many times. But anyway, we should dedicate all our merits to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. And especially, we should dedicate all our merits for our root gurus, long life, good health, and turn the wheel of Dharma always. Thank you. Sonam di tamche sikpa nye tomne nyebe danam pamche ne keka na chi balon chupa sibe tsale jowan jolwara sho jambala pawe chidara kemba tang kundo song Jisume shebe gyala tamche yungawa kala chodo naba te daki kewe sawa dikinja sambo che chirlap to ngawarangi Tamba jikden kamsu jamba tan tamba nye shinto salwa tan tenzen palam jikten timba Tamba yiri nebe toshi sho tembe balkiro lame shabe ten tenzen kebe saten yonla kyab tembe jinta ngatan jorwagi Tamba yiri nebe toshi sho nuje lama namge tuje tan lume kuncho sumke chenlap tan cheson tamzen gyapse nede Shizam cheshen nebe toshi sho
Your Holiness, could you please give room for the text?
Okay. 전주 정도 되게 말하면 사담나 선보라쇼 심바 신다게 담바쇼 같은 징게 라마도 투지 징게 담다 인내 접수 지라게 달라 징게라도 재미게 잡아고 좀 최신 더버 잡아라 심바 신다게 담마탈 대케게 년도 솔로 기 텐델라셔나 잡아면 카와라셔나 니좀 다다나셔나 상태면 dem바촌나 다와민 담바 텐델 마신바 투림나 터ton가 무슨 텐델라민은 더바도 잡아민게 샬라쇼 담마 투림이 샤탄노 시아tom나 토르르베 타와자 타바르베 템게전 동아포면 년바전 투림라마타 메다데 텐델라셔베 투림데 체교르베 타와자 트림년의 시와저 트림단라 차도 저랑게 트림 어바치 년도르베 사변저 제메 트림 샬라쇼 터섬 제베 강사데 샤저르베 론제 마르 살로데 메자 도와 덴벨람게 제체게 꾸야 사변저 터섬라마타 메다데 텐델라셔베 터섬당가 야르베 론제 터섬메라 녀바전 터섬당라 차도 코동론제 돌로제 년도르베 타와자 체게게 터섬 샬라쇼 금바 Give Kansaka, Yamapa, and Yambajan Talam de Betawa, and Yellow Tobialonja, Sangi de Besavan, Gombala, Meta, Meta, Tendilla, Mibe, Gomba, and Remember Legend, the Dejan, Londama, Contage, and Totem Chella, Korwach, and Combustion, Hataja. Rangi Gombana, and Chegi, someday shall show. Yangin de Baduma, come to the Shimbapa, come to the Shimbapa, La Korea, but Timber, Tambo, Donga, Donga, Sosum, Donga, and Tell Levels, and the Kesha, told the Hamlet. Sandam Pong we give me to Baring as some change about Takanam to Cantella, you read Donald Santana to Ring and to draw a Kajan Tamba to Kawaya in the Mopro, Kingal Tent to Kawaya, Telonga and Asia Jampa. All the over a minute, Anna me and Gurata, Mitsuba Tambo drawing the Katabush, drawing the Miamo Botildo drawing the Talasoba, Tamaka, the Jaggy Donald Santana, Cheva, the Simba Mimi Mayandula. Nyandu, Northigandu, La Togan, the Metatum, the Tala, the Tamsha, Tola, Tamsi, she and Tala, Simba, Metachimata, Gawala, Corvedongal, Pumbala, Shembarchanam, Telele, Shembatana, Yangan, and the Water Shemba, Shedanyangi, Yan, that Jibu Tarbe, Pingume, comes from Gessinjan Pama and Pamatonga, Gesson, that the word about Telele. Comes in Gedunga, Mendaga, Sonam, something, Sonam, the Salam, Gessinjan, Tamja Sange, Shada, Chedan, Chinging, and Dindan Chala, Tolame. 대하십도 시작하는 여버든라 탈바메 메버든라 토리메 니거든 바 미셰파 베 니메게 나라 강거쇼 최근 생기 주요인 차도 어쩌라서 정시 제게 마토로 생이 경화라 강가르쇼 나와 기면 나신다 된전들로 정화에 늘로 잡을 메시게 저당 경화라 강가르쇼 샴바시다 샴바에 겨와디 선음기도 와도 뭐 만들어 상게 살아 가버쇼 샴바시다게 너무 나죠 봐 타바 양진게 빠사죠 금발 잡아와 오케이 선아 세븐 탈런도 완도로라
Some people want to know if there are going to be translation.
Dear friends, on behalf of Sakya Friends, I express gratitude to His Holiness Sakya Trichen and to His Holiness Sakya Trizin for very special blessings and teaching for the start of the Losar month. And many thanks to our translators. Today we brought blessings and wisdom from the Sakya lineage holders from the Holy Land of Bodh About 1,000 people joined from over 60 countries today. Will I streamed in over 12 languages. Next empowerment from His Holiness we translate and is Green Zambala, given by His Holiness Gyana Vajra Rinpoche on February 14th. Very earlier at 4 in the morning for Central European time, 10 p.m. Vietnam, 11 a.m. Ulaanbaatar, and for America it is on previous day, Tuesday, February 13. Then Sakya Friends organized 3 more online Sakya empowerments during the Losar on February 17th, February 18th, and March 2nd. All details are sent by email to all registered for today. Also, more details about the list of language translations will be published on Sakya Friends Facebook pages. Thank you once again for joining us, and see you again in Sakya Friends Zoom and YouTube.